There we go.
Are you gonna? Will they be joining through the Zoom chat as well?
We've got people joining now by the looks of it.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
Great.
filling up.
Yep. Got James. Oh, we can see you. Big.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Will they be joining through the Zoom chat as well?
We've got people joining now by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people will be
Sweet.
joining from
Filling
the
up.
chat as well. Yep. Got. Wait, who's talking? James. Oh, we can see you. Big.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay, that's great.
Wait, sorry.
What's up? It's everyone's lagging for me.
Huge echo.
No, it's okay. I just turned on the YouTube. That's why. So no one turned on the YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Yep. We'll wait for a few more people to
Hey,
join.
Vic, your camera's off.
Me?
No, Vicky.
Me.
Yeah,
there
Vicky
you go.
said. There we go. Cool.
All right. I'll post our YouTube live link on the Twitter as well. For those who are here, pull your friends and family in here.
Great. Do you want to give it another couple minutes and we'll let everyone get in? We'll get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Friday evening, so
Yeah.
this week is a really quick one.
Yeah.
And
This
Big
year
time.
has been very quick so far. What are we up to now? The 29th. Time passed.
hold your horses, man. It's only January. Oh shit, it's already over.
So how many people do we have watching now?
I've only got 6 attendees in the Zoom.
Yeah.
And I think we can start. We'll go through a few sort of topics here so that and people can still rewatch it later, so they won't miss out anyway. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
Should we get started then?
It's a very short notice sort of event anyway, just because of the crazy run up, and it came on a little bit for Doge and a bunch of other stuff happening, in Wall Street bets and stuff. So we can just had a quick chat over here, sort of, chat with you guys.
All right, cool. Well, I'll just do a little bit of an introduction quickly. Is that okay? Yeah, good to go. All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining Binance's second team stream AMA in 2021. We're happy to see everyone here, and we hope that you've had a good start to the new year. I'm James. Nice to meet everyone, and I'll be hosting tonight's team stream AMA. So we have a couple of members of the Binance Australia team, including myself here with us tonight. We've got Jeff, CEO of Binance Australia, joining us. And Grayson, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Grayson. I'm on the operations team here for Binance Australia. And yeah, freaking love Bitcoin and everything about it. That's me.
Easy done. Look, we're currently live streaming across Zoom and YouTube, so feel free to share our link to your friends and family who you think would be interested to join us. For those of who are on Zoom, make sure to use your clap and wave functions, as we'll be checking the chat box so you can interact with us there. For our friends on YouTube, use the comment section to talk to us throughout the live stream. We'll be watching there as well, and we'll be doing some bit of Q&A at the end. So do keep in mind that we're not here to offer you financial advice, and it's important to do your own research before trading. So yeah, today we thought we'd host a little impromptu AMA, as this week in crypto has been a roller coaster, to say the least. We've seen Doge, Gamestop, Reddit, and Bitcoin all trending in the cryptosphere. And we've hit our own milestones in Australia this year as well. So yeah, we're all off to a great start, and it's been busy. All right, so let's just get straight to the discussion then. So with GameStop and r/Wall Street bets, would anyone like to sort of get into what's happened there this week?
Yeah, so like for those that don't know, this is like the biggest topic in the finance sector and also in the tech community. That basically what happened was that so GameStop is a listed stock in the US, and traditionally, or this is to say that traditionally, like hedge funds would use hedge funds will unfairly sort of like manipulate and put shorts and do all kind of stuff to sort of screw with the stock, right? It's all within the rules, by the way. But this is the screwed up thing, and then people on Wall Street bet just basically goes we want to fight back, and then a bunch of internet community come together, and then they kind of go like, hey, let's just buy up all this GameStop stock on Robinhood, right? And then it basically, yeah. So they cause a lot of issues for hedge funds would have to close their shorts, and lost a lot of money on that side, and and basically every single CNBC, everyone is just talking about this thing over the past 24 hours. It's insane, right? So I think the whole thing is that what is important to know here is that people are starting realizing that how unfair the game can be for the status quo in terms of traditional finance. People can halt trading, people can prevent you from trading certain stuff if it doesn't work in their favor. And that sort of thing doesn't happen in crypto, right? It's like it's a decentralized world. Lots of chaos in the beginning, but the good thing that the trade-off is that like it's truly in the hands of the people, right? Because like the GameStop stuff, really, I was following a couple of hours a day off and on, and the thing that happened really last night was that Robinhood actually stopped trading, because that was mainly supposedly one of the top places where the Wall Street bets guy sort of like traded the stock at, and a bunch of other platforms as well halted the trading, and there was a big chatter about how when the game is not in the establishment's favor, they can just call the shots and stop everything, even though what they're doing is essentially the same thing that they've been doing for the longest time, or something like that. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I want to jump in here because I feel really strongly that this is definitely a underdog finally winning scenario, and they've just had their teeth kicked in again by Wall Street. And the really mucked up thing we saw here was these hedge funds were shorting 140% worth of stocks off GameStop. So one, how did they even get the funding to do that? How were their providers even willing to have that happen? They were just trying to bury this company into the ground, right? And the second thing, I think it's Citadel Capital. So the company that has the majority share in Robinhood were also one of the main hedge funds that were shorting GameStop, and they were pretty much being seen to take GameStop trading off of Robinhood then. So it was this whole like, oh, we're finally losing. The plebs can't be winning, no way. So let's just stop them. And
yeah, I think that's an allegation, but it's definitely interesting to hear whether because things like this, it's really hard for us to know whether what's right or what's wrong, because this kind of stuff is not publicly disclosed by the first-hand people, right? So, but the whole thing about crypto is a 24/7 market. There is no such thing as a circuit breaker or a stop. There's no such thing as a insider ivory tower group of people that just controls the price of Bitcoin, right? It's a very decentralized, it's decentralized market traded across so many exchanges, so many worlds in different kind of jurisdictions. It's a kind of like a game changer. It's like until you realize how fair the other side of things are, you realize that that's really something that Bitcoin really offers, that like none of these centralized counterparts can beat, I would say.
Yeah, look, that was something I wanted to touch on there, was that Bitcoin's untouchable in this kind of way. People can't band together. It's a currency for the people, controlled by the people. And I think that's probably one of the biggest messages that I like to hit home for people when they're asking me about Bitcoin, is its freedom of those like corporations. Let's just put it straight like that. The other thing that was probably my favorite thing to come out of it was that meme of Big Bird from Sesame Street sitting around the table, and it says GameStop sitting amongst Tesla and Amazon after Reddit users make it a Fortune 500 company. So look, if anything good came out of it, that was probably the best part for me. Anything for a meme, right? But
The meme is good, very good. It's just I think it's so cool to kind of watch everyone come together though. Start rooting for the little guy in the scenario.
Yeah, that's why we're here. That is why we're here.
And it's hilarious because I saw one tweet. It's like the only excuse the hedge funds have is only we should be able to manipulate the markets.
Yeah. and wait till you see whether they get built out in a large scale. If something like that. If the retail loses, the retail bears all the losses, even though it's being gambled on behalf of the retail, not by themselves. But if the top guys or the status quo loses, they bail themselves out by essentially diluting everyone's wealth, right? The saving just goes every time they bail a bank out, every time they bail a institution out, right? They're actually diluting your fiat that you hold, right? The value of the fiat that you hold, right? Same thing happened in 2008, right? That's why the Bitcoin Genesis block, right, had this Satoshi picked this article, sort of this news article that day on the 3rd of January 2009 was the chancellor on the brink of a second bailout for banks, right? So it seems like just a trivial stuff, but think about it. It's what we came to this industry for, right? Why something like Bitcoin is really needed, because it's how unfair a traditional system can sometimes be, and you need something like a decentralized alternative to give not say I would say fully replace, but also give some kind of check and balance to the status quo, and make sure that we level the playing field a bit more for everyone.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Bitcoin. No one player has an unfair advantage over anyone else, and everyone is accountable for their own actions. A truly fair money, essentially. And
the money for the people.
Money for the people. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that can sort of bring us into the transparency of blockchain, right? When we're looking at, let's have a look at the charity. It was really good to sort of get my head around that a couple of days ago when we were doing the Australia Day charity, right? The points that are made there are really relevant to the whole of Bitcoin, of cryptocurrency, the transparency on the blockchain of transactions and stuff like this. No big whales, no small fish, no one can hide. It's all there on the open, everyone has a fair chance, all of this sort of stuff. It's really the when you look at the logistics of it, it's a currency that, how would you put this? It's a sort of a perfect form of currency. So yeah, I digress. Did you want to? Yeah. Okay. Look. So I think we'll move on to let's talk about Doge's surge. Right. Much gains. Very wow. The last I looked at Doge, I think it had taken over the internet, right? And was over about. I think I don't know. Did anyone see the percentage gains? I'm hearing 500, 600%, 700%.
I think I'd pick something like that, and they since sort of retraced a little bit back. The whole thing about Dogecoin is it's been one of those oldest running sort of inside joke around crypto, is that it was actually created to sort of I would say just as a joke, right? It's like I think it was an Aussie that was part of it as well in the early days, and that's how Dogecoin was born. It's like because Doge was the meme dog, right? That exists like way back, and it kind of go like, can we collectively come out with like a meme currency, and Dogecoin was kind of born right from there, and it's really cool to see the community taking over and like going, just probably some parts of it is because of the sort of the whole Wall Street bet Gamestop kind of thing, and they just basically go like, hey, what's next, right? And they just go into it. But anyway, I think it definitely shows that the space is it's very small. Community is very small space, even though crypto is right now like $1 trillion sort of market in total, right? But this sort of thing sort of happens to just show that how tight knit the community can be, and then don't get too excited and pour your life savings to do it. But I would say just if something that it's new to you, just watch and enjoy. Like this is welcome to crypto.
Yeah, I think this will be a lot of people's first taste into the crypto FOMO. Especially those Wall Street bets people come along and enjoy the ride for a little bit. So
yeah, Grace,
so I think
sorry.
So Grayson's mentioned a very good point. Like over the past few days, right? It's like Wall Street did like so much more than anyone else, any promoters or KOLs in crypto, to bring newbies into the space, right? It's like it's really insane. I'm not just saying this because like people are saying it. It's actually causing problems to a lot of infrastructure providers in Australia, because like we got I don't know how much I can disclose, right? Because like earlier this day, I went on Twitter, I go like, there is a verification issue for new users coming to our platform, and we're truly sorry for people that couldn't get through. But basically the issue came out from like so we are basically we are an Austrac registered digital currency exchange, right? So we have access to work with vendors that have access to verification services that link to the government data sources, right? And it's part of our commitment to make sure that the platform is safe, comply with all the the KYC, AML laws in Australia, and meet and exceed the standards kind of stuff, right? So basically that vendor that we're using, it's actually one of Australia's top vendors, right? Like they serve some of the top financial service providers. They service fintech companies. Some of those that are I won't name names, but they are huge, right? So their capacity was to meet their infrastructure is set up to sort of exceed the sort of standards of the sort of verification industry in terms of payload and stuff. But what happened within today was that in a few hours, like 2 exchanges, including us, we crashed the infrastructure because of the insane increase of registrations and verification requests that was sent to them, right? And then they're still taking the time to recover from it, and then it's basically showing like how much new people has been brought into the crypto space just in the past 48 hours after the GameStop, Wall Street bet, Doge thing. It all contributed to people's sort of awareness that crypto is something now worth looking into. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's sorry, you go. Yeah, you're good. So yeah, it was interesting to see this small, group really grow on the what was it, Satoshi Streets, and then we've got the Wall Street one as well. And their influence on what should be a very big market. And then what did we see today? I think Elon tweeted just on top of that, just some icing on the cake, right? Like the cherry on top and all. So yeah, it's good to see the little guys sort of fighting back against all of that. All right, so let's let's talk about Bitcoin a little, I reckon. So we've been consolidating around 31k USD, 40k AUD, and it looks like it wants to go. And with all of this hype and all of the new guys jumping on and money coming back in, what are your thoughts? We're still bullish for 2021, and what do you guys see as Bitcoin's place in Wall Street and Main Street?
All right. Well, I guess my first thing is I'm not going to give price targets, but
No.
and this is not financial advice, but I think we can all agree that a lot of people that are new, that are coming across from Wall Street Bets, that are seeing this inflow and getting curious, they'll probably be thinking like, oh, should I wait for a pullback? Should I wait for this? And I've seen it, like all my friends, well, not all of them, but most of them, like, oh, should I wait till it goes to 25K and then I'll buy? But one point I just want to make in regards to that is most likely because of Bitcoin's asymmetric potential, it won't matter if you get in at 31K or freaking 25K or 40K, because the potential for growth is just so off the charts that you have more risk trying to trade and buy the bottom than just buying. Once again, not financial advice, but as someone who's tried to trade and someone who's been in the space for a little while now, I think the biggest lesson I've learned is if you want to buy, don't try and beat the market, because 99% of the time the market's going to beat you. But if you do have an edge, by all means. But yeah, I think with institutions coming in and the amount of just the incredible amount of buying pressure and such little supply, I think it's quite likely that we're going up. And on the institutions, one thing that we really need to take into consideration is they're going to move a lot slower than retail. They're not just going to friggin' instant 0 fee deposit onto Binance and buy. It's a case of this is going to be a 6 to 12 month regulatory process, and then they're going to buy. But they're not going to sell after a week of volatility. They're in this for, decades. Even maybe until the end. Like Michael Saylor, he said, Bitcoin is a way to store value indefinitely into the future. And I think a lot of other funds and big players are definitely picking up on that. Jeff, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, so like basically like timing the market is more important than timing the market in when it comes to Bitcoin. History will show you that. It's a long term play, right? It's like you don't get into Bitcoin thinking that you will sell it, a week later. That's not really what historically what this asset class do, right? And I would like to say, like, in terms of institutions, definitely there is a huge uptake at institutions, right? The ones that are really big, obviously, like Grayson said, right? It says a long regulatory process. They have their internal, external sort of independent boards to convince, and there's a lot of talks about what's the right way to buy it, what's the right way to store it, but you will never hear them ask what's the right price to buy it, right? They just want to get into asset class, and this is something that I think in the long span of time that however long that asset will be held, it's something like buying a store value asset like gold, right? Like you don't buy gold like I'm gonna store my asset and sell it a week later at the profit. Maybe if you're a hedge fund or a day trader, you might, but as a company looking to diverse part of that cash reserve into Bitcoin, right? It's a no-brainer to keep part of it in Bitcoin. It's a risk management method that if you don't practice it, it's almost if it's a fund manager, if you're not exploring all its options, you're not fulfilling your fiduciary duty, right? So that's something that I think a lot of retail don't really see, is that the insane amount of queue for institutions to enter the market. And I would say that as an exchange, right? Like what we do is that we make sure that we have the right tools, the right frameworks, the right processes to help all these from small companies to large institutions. In Australia, in the context of Australia, we also deal with a lot of SMSF users. So to get them sort of familiarized and help them through the process, work with accountants, work with all these A-level agencies in Australia to make sure that we can Australia can be the next US, right? Australia can have the next Microstrategy. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be somewhere else first, right? And that brings us to questions like both of you, like James and Grayson, like who do you think, like, it's a speculation question, but who do you think like Australia's microsailor, or when will Australia have its MicroStrategy moment?
I would be very, very surprised if there weren't a few getting ready to go in at the moment. With regard to who it'll be, I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
But do you think Australia will be like, we're definitely not going to be the first because like US took the lead. Yeah. But do you think Australia would be the next big kickstart point for institution sort of adoption?
I think it could be, because I think Australians typically have had a really open mind towards Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And you mentioned SMSFs, Jeff, and we can see it through that. People are on board. Even regulatory-wise, our government is very forward-thinking and progressive in this space. So I wouldn't doubt that in the next year or so we'll see some of these big players, whether it's mining or these big solar companies. At the end of the day, everyone with cash on their balance sheets is operating at a loss, and some more than others, but there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and only more people can start to click onto that. So that's my 2 cents. What do you reckon, James?
Yeah, look, Australia will, like in every sort of way, pretty much follows America's lead. And I don't think it'll be any different with financial services and stuff like this. So it's already kicked off over there with your Michael Saylors and, Elon's tweeting about and all of this sort of stuff. It's only a matter of time till we get the big cats, the big whales in institutions and stuff like this, corporates and all of that. They will be getting involved in a big way in Australia, I think. And I think you're right with the way that we've been treated by the government with Bitcoin and crypto and stuff like that. Aside from the privacy coin stuff that popped up, understandably, I think the government wants a peace. So I think that everything's going to go to plan. It's just a matter of time. It's, again, not if, it's when, and that's now. So don't be like my friends and family that have panic sold and sort of turned a blind eye and now sort of coming back and how do I get involved and stuff like this. Like, let's try and get in now. Don't worry about short term, just focus on long term. Now, yeah, this isn't financial advice, but we have a pretty good group consensus within the team here, not just us three, the whole team, that this isn't going away, and we don't work for this to go away. We're working for this to be here long term. So it's just a matter of time.
I want to raise that question to you, Jeff. Who do you think, with regard to big players, will be the Michael Saylor? What do you reckon?
It's Jeff.
Man, it's like it's very difficult to speculate, but I would say it right, like or I would hope that the first big fund, right, will choose Binance Australia as their crypto provider or the liquidity provider or whatnot, right, or the partner, or we have a strong compliance and legal team that can deal with this kind of stuff. We are registered exchange. We basically can service small to large clients. We have the best liquidity. So I think my hope is that whoever that decides to be the first, like, consider Binance Australia. Like, seriously do. Yeah.
It's going to happen. Just join us. We'll all go on the adventure together.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, let's say, okay, let's have a look at this year then. Let's whittle it down to 2021. We are starting to see a lot of interest. with corporate features in our corporate features and SMSFs, it's going to be a great year for the crypto scene in Australia. Do you want to sort of go into some details around our corporate features, our SMSFs, Jeff? Even Grayson, you want to chip in there?
Yeah, I can go with it. So I think I want to start off by sort of maybe as a question to all the listeners here is that like, do you actually know that you all live in a country that is one of the first in the world that on a highest level of the government recognizes the legality of Bitcoin, right? One of the first in the world that has very clear taxation laws around crypto, and one of the highest concentration of crypto registered and regulated crypto providers like us, like Binance Australia, per capita in the world, right? Like we are in one of the best and most right places in terms of regulation, matureness, in terms of banking support, like something as simple as Pay ID that we take for granted. It's such a easy and seamless tool for even the, for businesses, from retail, the same way I can send like $5 to you for the coffee you just bought me, on breakfast or whatnot. I can send like $5 million, $50 million via PID as a business to another business. That's insane, right? So like the sort of banking framework that we have in Australia, the friendliness, the regulatory friendliness, the sort of industry readiness for accepting clients in this space on a large scale, it's no match to the world, right? Like surely we shouldn't lose to any part of the world when it comes to institution adoption, right? So I think like one thing a lot of corporate users and SMSF users when it comes to dealing with crypto is the I might speculate, I might be wrong, right? It's like it might be the lack of education. It's like a lot of people might go like, well, this what will happen with my what's a tax implication? How do I deal with this? Is my SMSF eligible? How do I set up an SMSF? It's SMSF crypto the right way to do it? A lot of these questions, I think some parts of it is that we have to admit as service providers we need to do more education pieces like that. Or we recently wrote a long article about everything you need to know about crypto SMSF in Australia in 2021. That's on the Binance blog right now. It's at binance.com/au in the blog section, and we do really handhold a lot of users when it comes to applying for a corporate account and so SMS account. I think a lot of people on Telegram can attest to that. We do have a lot of one-on-one sessions, collecting feedback, learning how to make the process smoother and better. So I would say like it's definitely right. Everything it's right to go. The framework's there, the regulations are there, the banking supports are there. Like it's Australia is ready. I think it's just education that we need to push a little bit more. So I do think like sessions like this, if we can have bigger maybe inviting more industry experts. I'm thinking that even getting some tax expert into here to clarify some matters about crypto SMSF, or some corporate corporate lawyer here to sort of explain the implications of dealing with Bitcoin as a company, and all the tax implication from a tax expert. I think more people will realize that actually how easy and seamless it is, right? A lot of the concerns are just out of not really understanding the thing, which is you can't blame people for that. I think it's industry as a whole. We're all guilty of not really pushing that education front a bit harder in the past, but definitely something that we will do in 2021.
Yeah, so something with the education there is I think a lot of the education is sort of just a hangover from some of the FUD that we've received over the last couple of years and the disinformation and stuff like this. So not only one, just cleaning up all of that incorrect FUD, and the acceptance has now grown. And going back to, once one big person or someone, wants to jump in, everyone's going to follow. So be that first person, and get involved.
Or don't be the last.
Don't be the last. No.
But I think something that a lot of people are starting to realize is Bitcoin is a long-term savings vehicle, right? What is an SM? What is a super fund? A super fund is a long-term savings vehicle. They are meant for each other. And this is what we're seeing. This is one of the big trends. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, and it also depends on your risk profile, right? Like if, for example, if your time horizon for investing, or you are at the age that you're already cashing out your super, maybe you just want to live a comfortable life. Maybe you don't want to sort of spend too much time dealing in Bitcoin, because it's a long-term asset. It's understandable, right? But we do have friends who are in their golden years that are really excited about Bitcoin, right? Some of the most excited people, sort of the biggest advocates, are people in the core that we know, right? Like we meet all these people in meetups. Some of them are personally our friends. But I would say that in terms of risk profiles, like if you're just setting out, working a few years in your prime, you just got enough to set up, or SMSF, or even if you choose not to have an SMSF, you can always invest in your future, right? It's like you have all these asset classes out there, right? You consider gold, you consider real estate, consider stocks, index funds, whatever, insurance funds, or what all this stuff like in the world, right? It's like I would say that just explore Bitcoin, right? Look at what it does in a long-term scale. Like look at actually get a calculator out, like look at how it impacts your portfolio health, right? Like having Bitcoin, even people go like Bitcoin is volatile, that's why I don't want to have it in a portfolio. I think that's an entirely misguided perception, because if you do the calculations, right, having Bitcoin exposure to Bitcoin, a small one, actually reduces your portfolio volatility, right? Because it's an uncorrelated asset class that I think look that up. That's a bunch of research and videos by fund managers. I think one of them from Tom Lee from Fundstrat, right? He did a research into this actually just a couple of years ago. So some consider that, right? If you're a financial advisor, or you are a financial advisor, look it up, ask questions, right? If you really want to hit us up and get more commentary on questions, or way to approach this, feel free to, right? We're always contactable. We're just based here in Australia anyway.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to add with all that. As Bitcoin reaches this inflection point where it swaps from mainly retail to institutional investment, it really does become a point, and this is not financial advice, but it is looking to be very risky to not own any Bitcoin. And so it's this whole idea of at least getting off zero and having a little bit will be that little extra bit that the modern day balanced portfolio really needs.
Yeah, and I think maybe like some of the listeners here, or you might have friends or family that are new to this space, right? It's like you don't actually have to buy one Bitcoin, right? It's like you don't have to buy a full Apple share, right? You can always buy a fraction of it. You can buy a fraction of Bitcoin, $10, $50, $5, really up to you, $5,000, anything, right? You can always buy a fraction of Bitcoin. That's, I think, a lot of people might not be aware, even though it's something that we take for granted.
Even if it's just $50 a week or something,
Yep.
Don't have to buy a lot, just more than zero. Like I just find it so risky that people can just watch this and not do anything about it.
Yeah. And I think like having some professional advice and this definitely helps, right? It's like we're not here to give financial advice, but I would just say that consider, if you were to consider Bitcoin as part of your asset portfolio, really look at it as any assets on the portfolio. Don't just look at this something like a internet currency that can go up like to the moon, right? And I'm just gonna treat it differently than the rest of in terms of sort of portfolio management discipline to my other assets in my basket. Like treat it like everything. It's well, like if you respect your portfolio, right? If you respect your discipline of maintaining it, right? You generally will will do better, right? Don't be too reckless in that. Don't bet your like you wouldn't bet your entire portfolio basket in one sort of asset class, or over dominantly on one asset classes. Like I think you should not do it to any asset class, especially something that you don't really understand in the first place, right? Although I do see people that are really excited and having a high sort of a high part of the net worth in Bitcoin, or some of them live in the crypto world entirely, right? It's really up to the people's choice, right? But I would say if you're just starting out, or you're actually a financial advisor, you're a fund manager, like just look at Bitcoin first as a like any asset class out there, right? Like don't give it any sort of special treatment or special sort of shade on top of it, right? Look at it as like it's just gold, right? Or stock. And then go from there, and then educate yourself, and then slowly work your way up in the confidence level of adjusting your portfolio sort of allocation, and it depends on your risk and your time horizon in investing.
Slightly off topic, but Elon Musk has just updated his Twitter bio.
Oh my God.
Cool.
How about
I'll
that?
be right. I'll be right back.
and he tweeted, in retrospect, it was inevitable.
It is.
There we go.
How good.
Have we had much?
But like, what about? I want to hear your thoughts about this. Like, how the early days of Bitcoin, we were always going to be like, this is like, it's anti-establishment. It's it's a bit of libertarian sort of aspects to it, and that influenced a big part of the early Bitcoin scene, right? And with like institutions coming in, with like Grayscale sort of holdings of Bitcoin, is like it's growing so rapidly that the retail, I would say, arguably are yet to are feeling to catch up, right? Eventually, that kind of goes down the path, right? More and more big funds, like BlackRock and stuff like this, right? They come into the space and they scoop out all this Bitcoin, right? Like, then what would happen to the whole, I would say, aspects of being a liberal currency and stuff?
Well, as we know, Bitcoin,
not BlackRock, Blackstone. I always get this wrong.
Bitcoin's adoption cycles always come with a new wave of ideals, and I think a really good part of all of this as a whole is it really doesn't matter. Bitcoin is for everyone, whether you're using it for libertarian mindset, or using it as an institution to just store value. Regardless, you still have the option to use it how you want to use it. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is a tool that you use how you want, right? And I think the institutionalization of Bitcoin is a kind of new form of FUD that we're seeing from maybe the libertarian sect of the Bitcoin space, which I have no problem with those guys. I think a lot of their views make a lot of sense, and it's more power to the people. You can still use Bitcoin as a unconfiscatable, unstoppable cypherpunk money. At the same time, institutions use it to store value. There's really no problem with that.
Yeah, look, we've come a long way since the Silk Road and dark web days, right? It's like what, hit a 600 billion market cap, I think, this year. This is a serious game now, and everyone can get involved. Doesn't matter if you got a spare $100 in your pocket, or you're one of the biggest institutions in the world. This is a currency to take on board.
I just want to add also, as institutions come in, right? It's not just freaking evil bankers that are coming into Bitcoin, right? When you look past that, you see Microstrategy, for example, with their purchase of Bitcoin, you're getting all of their lawyers, all of their partners, everything involved with that. They now all have an incentive to help Bitcoin, to help it grow, to help it become more secure. The more people, regardless of who they are, institutions or not, the more people that join Bitcoin, the more powerful it becomes. And that is something that we should all be rooting for, regardless.
Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, it is true, right? It's like especially big look at JP Morgan, right? Initially they go like, Bitcoin is not really, I don't, what is it, Bitcoin's a scam or something like this back then. And then you start seeing that their clients themselves are having an appetite of Bitcoin, right? If JP Morgan doesn't allow that purchase, they go to someone else, they go to a competitor. So what does JP Morgan do, right? They have to offer the same standards of products, right? It's not about just personally, if you don't understand the technology, you just want to say something bad about it. But right now it's about losing market share in what you do best, right? And you can start seeing that the sort of the conversational shift from how Bitcoin is deemed as a scam or something like this, that JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said that a while ago, and to right now he's basically flipped 180, right? Just basically said that actually, right, a Bitcoin has a potential and stuff like this. So you can see that, and these people have one of the strongest lobbying power, to the world's most powerful government, right? And when that interest align, right, like, that's gonna be insane. The sort of amount of potential, and it comes to that, and the sort of positive cycle it will come into. I think it's what a lot of people are not really not yet aware about. But I would confidently say that would be the path that we would go to one day. That's going to happen. Maybe 3 years, 5 years, maybe 2 months. Who knows, right? But yeah, like we said at the beginning, right? If you really believe, in this movement and believe why you're here for in crypto, definitely, timing the market is more important than timing the market.
I've got freaking goosebumps just looking at the amount of hype right now that Elon Musk has just dumped into the market.
The psychology of like
awesome.
The last 4 or 5 years, watching the psychology of the market and the positive come through has been really, really interesting and really good to be a part of.
It's really so inevitable. The more people that pick up Bitcoin and put it to their balance sheets, the more people that will pick up Bitcoin and put it on the balance sheets. It is the strongest network effect in the entire world. Probably the strongest network effect we've ever seen as the human race. Honestly, I might be getting a little bit carried away right now, but I love this, man.
Apart from the internet, I think you're right.
Yeah,
they're hand in hand.
Oh man, but yeah, you may not be interested in Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is interested in you.
All right, cool. So let's sort of just move on to a little bit of Binance Australia stuff. So, Jeff, any updates in regards to Binance Australia? I mean, this year we saw it was 130 in a 24-hour volume on our AUD pairs.
Yeah, we had a record day just earlier this month. Probably due to the whole excitement of the price, the bull market and stuff like that. But it definitely gives but it's the significance of that, right? It's not that well, there's a lot of people trading Bitcoin, right? There's a lot more people trading Bitcoin on Binance Australia, and more people trading Bitcoin on exchanges like Binance Australia, which is like order book exchanges, right? You control the price and stuff like this in a more transparent manner. Then I would say people using brokerages and sort of services that are basically acting as agent to buy Bitcoin for you. And I think with that kind of trust, I would say that really thank you all sort of our Aussie users for the support. That's enormous, right? We'll continue to sort of make stuff better, put in features that you love and you want, continue to smash it in 2021. But I would like to say that looking at past sort of history of exchanges, the evolution of exchanges in Australia, right? So you started off with the early days. Remember when you just started off? There's only like a few exchanges around, right? Like BTC markets. I was an early user of that. It's very complicated, right? It's like something that I need to have a lot of trading experience to really understand what systems are, right? And then slowly you have the at around the same time you have exchanges like simple exchanges like CoinSpot, right? They're like a brokerage. They're just acting as an agent to buy Bitcoin for you. And you sometimes pay a premium for the convenience, which is fine, right? So it's a fair business model. I think it's a fair a business, right? But at the same time, as the volume grew, as the users grew, industry sort of regulation matures. Then you have Austrac coming to the space, and you got MPP, PayID, all this kind of cool stuff that makes things even more simpler. That it basically when we set up Binance Australia, right? We basically go like, we want the best of both worlds. We want what users want, right? We would want to classify users into beginner traders and experienced traders. And then beginner traders go here and experienced traders go there. Like Binance is meant to be the platform for everyone, right? You can see that what Binance was maybe 12 months ago, 6 months ago, and 2 weeks ago, it's very different. And look at our app, right? We have the Lite app right now. So you can see that there's a lot of effort being done to sort of pull the both worlds together and making sure that this is the platform that is used by the small guys who just want to buy $5 of Bitcoin over the weekend, on a beach, right? To someone that takes trading very seriously, sits down, 6 screens, wants the best liquidity, best sort of in terms of trading speeds and all stuff like that. Like you can all do that in one place, right? Which is kind of the thing that I think it's really lacking the market, and that's kind of the validation of why Binance Australia has sort of risen up to the market really quickly. Obviously there's a lot of hard work that the team here in Australia put into, kudos to you guys. But I would say that it's a lot of just responding to the needs of people and then just keeping up that trust and keep building it, building what people want. So I think in 2021, it's real simple, right? It's like we just keep building what you guys want, right? Just give us ideas, tell us. We look at all the comments, look at all the suggestions, and we also look at the sort of trends and data to sort of see where the direction are going to, and we just want to make sure that Binance Australia is the only exchange that you ever go for, right? Started off buying $5 of Bitcoin over a weekend on the beach to maybe one day set up an SMSF and putting through Binance Australia, right? Go for it.
Yeah, if you've ever got any questions or even suggestions to how we can make your Bitcoin experience a lot better, then just hop on into our Telegram chat. We've got a really good community of people that help out, and yeah, just feel free to go in there and ask away. We love chatting to our customers, and we have a really
basically they're 24/7. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can see that some people on YouTube us in the comment section saying that struggling with deposits stuck in limbo. I assume that it's a deposit. So what usually happens when that happens is that when you before you deposit, there's a legal message that says that you have to make sure that the bank account comes under your same name. So what happens is that because of compliance reason, we have to sort of make sure that the money that goes to person A actually comes from person A's bank account. So if you're having issues with that, chat us up on Telegram, send us the details you have. We'll have a look. Sometimes it might be an honest mistake of using a joint account or a company account that you forget to switch through your phone. It happens to me sometimes. Just chat us up on Telegram. We'll help you out. No worries. And I can see that a lot of Elon supporters.
So yeah, one of the reasons that I brought up the volume, I know it was there was some growing positive sentiment in the space at that time, so a lot of money was going to come in regardless with that one. But it's a perfect example of how we are. Binance Australia is the best exchange to trade on in Australia. If it wasn't so easy to deposit, withdraw, trade, the volume wouldn't be that high. So the data's there for those who want to jump in and get involved. We are going to make the process as simple and easy for you as possible.
Even if you're not trading, 0 fee instant deposit through PayID is the smoothest onboarding you'll ever have. It's awesome. I really do apologize, guys. I keep looking off to the side here because I'm just watching this chart.
The charts.
Yeah. It is ripping. Oh,
amazing.
And there was there was something I took out of what Jeff was saying then as well, is that Binance as a whole isn't just a business. It's actually doing a hell of a lot for the space. And so someone who's like working with them and for them and everything like that, it's really awesome to be a part of that. Just a little plug there. But yeah, we are more than just a business, more than an exchange. Just get involved. Yeah, meet us in the Telegram. We're there nearly 24/7. Just happy for a chat and everything like that. So yeah, just wanted to pop that one in there as well.
Yeah. And I do see, like, somebody here, I think Ruth Davies is saying that, when will my account be verified? So I assume that you're talking about Australian verification. So if you go to my Twitter this morning, I did mention something about a issue with one of our verification providers in Australia. So we are an Australia-registered exchange. We have access to to sort of part of the compliance program is to work with authorized government-approved sort of data verification service providers. And because of the load that experiencing through various one or two exchanges, basically two exchanges crashed their system this morning, and it's still working to sort of getting back up to full capacity. So it's a really frustrating thing for us, especially seeing that users like you guys can go onto the platform and fully complete the verification as a new user. Like, we really apologize for that, but it's kind of a show that how insane the sort of crypto space is really rallying up to, because that service provider, because I mentioned in the early part of the live stream, is that service provider is actually serving some of the top fintech companies. And I had a call with the CEO. They assured me that the system was designed to meet and exceed sort of industry standards in terms of load, and they just couldn't keep up with the crypto exchanges. They just went like two exchanges, one of them broke our systems. Like, no one's going home. We will fix this until it's resolved for you. So I'd say that if you're still having issues, try it maybe in a few hours, right? Go for dinner or something, and we'll and then let us know how it goes. Then maybe you have to try it again. I don't know how that flow would be. But if you still have issues, really hop on the Telegram. We'll help you out over there.
Yeah, great. Sorry, I was just trying to find the mute button. I think we should probably move on to some more of the questions that are getting through on Telegram and on YouTube and everything like that. Do you want to give me the host privileges quickly and see if I can just quickly go through how easy it is to deposit AUD on Binance? Is that cool with you? I think you've taken host.
Yeah, Jeff, you got.
Vicky, if you're still there. No, Vicky, you're host now. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll give you hosts.
Thanking you. Cool.
All right.
All right.
I miss host now.
Let's see if I can do this. Cool. Has that popped up for you guys? Or?
Yes, nice and clear. If you go full screen.
Oh, yep. Sorry, just one second.
I just saw the candle. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was on mute. My God, it's awesome, right?
So now's a good time to probably show the slide, because you should probably buy some Bitcoin, not financial advice.
Yeah, but this is the best time to show the slides.
So look, once you've signed up and everything like that, provided your ID and whatnot, just head over to the main page. On there, we've got the deposit AUD. You want to just go over to the next slide where you can enter, this is already pre-filled. So you've got the AUD, the currency will be pre-filled. Obviously, we're going to be using that here in Australia. We'll be using Pay ID, which is a 0% fee. It's not going to cost you anything to deposit this money. It's not going to cost you anything to withdraw that money as well. So you simply just enter how much you want in there, press continue. Then it's going to pop up with your bank details, not your actual bank details, but the details we'll need to transfer this money across. So with me, I will copy and I'll copy my Pay ID just there. You can see it's a little bit blurred, but it says @au.binance.com. You go across to your app or back to your, your banking browser URL and all of that. You hit transfer, you put in the Pay ID details, how much you want to put across, you put in your little description, and you hit send. And it's, that says 40, but it's literally in there before you can get back to the app. So I'll do it on the app usually. So I'll hit deposit odd there. Same steps as before with the browser. Put in your $50. Put in your pay ID details on your CBA or your ANZ or NAB app and stuff like this. See here, we got CBA for an example. So more, put the email address, pop that in there, hit next. Put in your description and how much you want to transfer across to Binance. And literally it's in there before you get back to the app. Like it's that quick. When it's instant, look, there may be sometimes here and there issues. That's just how it is with technology. But 99% of the time, and every time I personally have, I just want to put a disclaimer out there, but every time I've done this, it's instant. I can't get back to the app quick enough because it's beaten me. So yeah, super simple, like super simple. It couldn't be any more simpler than that.
Super simple, but I guys, are you watching the chat? Like, is everyone else seeing this?
I can get it up onto the stream if you'd like.
This is a historical moment. I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
What do we reckon? Do you reckon he's going to post like Tesla reserves or something?
There we go.
Put it on the
15. Oh my God, that's the 15 there.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Elon.
Oh, that's incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah. By the way, if you all don't know that we have actually AED pairs on Binance Australia. So if you just go to look up the market section, just type in AED. It's a bunch of AED pairs to go for. So it's only currently 8 AEDs pairs at the moment. We're planning to add more, but because obviously that comes with an order book sort of model is that it needs to have certain sort of liquidity requirements that we need to sort of make sure that it stays at a certain standard. To sort of ensure that we continue to give the best pricing and stuff like that. So, but also we do have the instant buy option that you can just select to buy from one crypto or the other. That's basically like the more beginner friendly option that you can also try it out.
Yeah, great. No worries. All right. Screen has stopped sharing. That's good. All right. So let's just 1 second. Sorry. I'll grab some questions from the Telegram that have come through on YouTube and everywhere else. So just 1 second. Okay, let's just work from the bottom up here. So any news on swipe card allocations? This is always a question. Here in Australia, I've heard they're aiming for Q1 2021 somewhere. So yes, from what I've seen with the swipe team in their Telegram, things from Joselito, I think I'm pronouncing that right, we will hopefully be seeing the swipe card Binance card. So the Binance card powered by swipe. End of Q1, maybe start of Q2. That's what I'm getting from those guys. I think we can probably just move straight onto that to Michelle. What are your roles at Binance? So I do a bit on the operations team, and I've just started doing a little bit on the marketing team as well. Grayson, you touched on it before, but if you want to go through that as well.
Yeah, so kind of all the back end stuff, bit of analysis, bit of reporting, working with the devs, making sure everything's running smooth for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And also a lot of customer service things, making sure that everyone's transactions are getting to them quickly and on time. Yeah,
one of the greatest things about working for these guys is that you get to try a little bit of everything. Jeff's not afraid to get us all involved on one thing or split us up into different groups to try something new. So it's been great. Jeff, what do you do here?
I do a little bit of everything. So mostly answering mostly answering questions on socials and Telegram and stuff like that. Yeah, I do see that there's Borat is asking about the conversion to USD first and cuts conversion. I think it comes back to to the price, right? So for example, like we can't, there's limitations on and sort of requirements on what kind of standards we need to make sure that we have before we list a certain coin, right? So for example, you might go like, hey, why do other exchanges have a direct pair to something, right? Most likely what they're doing, essentially, they're converting to USD and buy for you in USD for you, and you're just charging you more for the sort of advantage. But having a direct AUD pair, like on an order book exchange like Binance, it's very different because like it's basically an open market for people to bid and ask for the asset, right? If we basically open up too many pairs at one time, what happens if you look at some exchanges, that has a lot of pairs, is that the bottom view and the bottom chunk of them really don't get the liquidity, and it becomes a nightmare for users because you don't always get the orders match, you don't get the orders close, and we want to avoid that, right? So having some of this, we will continue to assess, which pairs and stuff like this is suitable to have more direct AUD pairing. I do admit that it's 8 is too little. We need to go a bit more, but this thing takes time and takes a bit of sort of research, because if we do this, we need to do it right the first time. Yeah. So hope that answers your question.
Easy there. Another one from the Telegram. I don't have YouTube up in front of me, so I'm just relying on questions to come from YouTube. So if you see anything, jump on it, please. But where can we get Alan wants to know where we can get a Binance hoodie from. So just keep an eye out for our promos, right? So just join Twitter, follow our page. We have giveaways and promos all the time. Join the Telegram. We do little giveaways in there as well. You never know when the Binance hoodie is going to pop up. There's no Binance shop as far as I know. So you're just probably going to have to, wait for us to do a promo and always stay up to date and get involved there. Jeff, can you see anything on the YouTube there?
Yeah, I do see that there's a bit of questions about the PID deposits. So PID deposits, usually the only way to really make sure that the funds has actually left your account is that go to your app, just make sure that your transaction doesn't show up as pending or processing in your app. And even if it has gone through, like I mentioned earlier, it's like there are chances that your transaction might be held for like a review, and they might eventually go back to your bank account because it doesn't come from the right person. It might be an honest mistake. Sometimes I'm actually, when I select the bank account and money comes from, it comes from a company account, so it's not really my own personal account. And that's basically a compliance issue. Compliance thing, we need to make sure that money goes into a person's A account, comes actually from the bank account of person A. And that's something that we really have to do to make sure that we meet sort of compliance standards that we set off as a Australia registered exchange in Australia. It's basically the same rules and stuff that everyone plays in not just crypto exchanges but any financial institution in Australia. Then and also if you still find like issues with deposits, definitely chat us up on Telegram, right? That you will get very quick replies, and we definitely help you out. That's one thing that I think the team here has been doing a pretty good job at that.
Yeah, we're always willing to help. We've got about 4 or 5 angels in there, then the whole team, everyone from marketing, operations, devs. Jeff himself is in there answering questions all the time. So it's come in. Yeah, we're happy to support.
Yeah, and something really interesting that I got. It's basically an email, right? One of our finance team sent us to this. It's pretty funny. It's like, it's funny and frustrating. It's like, the MPPA, right? So the organization that owns and runs the MPP. We actually got a warning from them for hitting our limits for having too many transactions. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, guys? Oh my God! Today's really insane. But we do still see PID transactions coming in. Like it doesn't mean that PID is not working. It's just that we just got to watch our volume a little bit better. Make sure that the systems are in place, or even negotiate like a higher limit. I think it's basically, I think it's an MPP limit, MPPA limit set for financial institutions, and make sure that there's not too many load coming from one particular source, so to keep that sort of thing balanced up for everyone else to use. Yeah. So if you're experiencing any delays, might be due to some of these transactions are being batched by the MPP. So but eventually it will come through. So if you still don't see it in a couple of hours time, which is very rare, just hit us up on Telegram. We'll help you sort it out.
There's some questions coming about, I believe, AUD pairs. Are we going to be getting more in the future? From what I've heard, expansion is all about what we're all about. Jeff?
Hold on just a second.
No,
so I still see the questions about the converted USD. So we actually have AUD USDT and AUD BUSD pairs on Binance, and those are one of the most liquid Tether or BUSD to AUD pairs in the market. Right? I can guarantee you that it's in a winning factor of like 100 or thousands kind of in terms of liquidity. So if you want to sort of trade an altcoin that doesn't have a direct AUD pair, definitely check out the AUD USDT or AUD BUSD pair and work out, because most coins, most crypto on Binance have a USDT or BUSD pair in that sense. Yeah. So Jeff, how can we contact you regarding Clarity? Telegram. Hop on Telegram. We're all there. So I'm seeing some issues of Clarity. It might be related to throttling issues from the MPPA.
Sorry, I've just got YouTube up now.
Yeah, which is really insane. Like how many industries actually got warnings from the MPPA itself for exceeding limits? It's insane. Like with MPPs, it's like 2-3 years old, something like that, right? But this is the first time actually I've seen something, I heard something like this. We must be hitting some insane amount of volume. Crazy. But we'll sort it out for you guys. So don't worry. If your transactions are stuck, 100% guarantee it will either go. If it's a deposit, it will definitely go into your Binance account if it's all legit and the name and everything matches. But if it was a withdrawal, 100% it will definitely go into your bank account once you do the withdrawals. So any delays because of that, please, we seek your understanding of that because of the volume that we are seeing. It's insane. Yeah. Do we have the Telegram link and the YouTube description or channel?
Yeah, I've just got YouTube up, so I'll get, if one of the angels could post a Telegram link in there, that'd be awesome.
Oh, good. Yeah, I see it now.
Binance. There we go. Thank you. There'll be a spam DOGE pair soon. I bloody hope so. Can I get a free hoodie if I get the Binance logo tattooed? Probably not.
Depends where you tattoo it, mate.
All right. Seems like we gotta get working. There's a lot of load coming in because of the price increase.
The massive amount of volume. Yeah.
It's insane. We're seeing our metrics growing like crazy. I think we gotta go back to work, guys.
Yeah, okay, let's get back. All right, so thank you all for joining us. We've reached the end of the Team Stream AMA. Don't forget before midnight tonight to enter the RM Williams giveaway. So I think we've got a few hours left for that one. You'll find that on our socials. We also have some more masterclass planned for the year, so keep an eye out for them on our blogs and socials as well. And please let us know if you like these sort of discussions, conversations. This is our sort of like first one where we've gone into like some bit of the market, what's happening during the week and everything. So if you enjoyed this, just let us know and we'll do that again. Obviously we'll get some other people on here and everything like that. So yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I'm sure the boys enjoyed doing that as well. So yeah, let us into your homes more often. So yeah, thanks again, Binanceans, for joining us tonight. I had heaps of fun. And here's to 2021. Did you want to wrap up, boys?
All right. Thank you all for being here. We'll hope to do this more soon.
Yeah. Cheers for joining, everyone, and happy trading or buying Bitcoin, whatever works best for you. What do you do? Beautiful.
All right. See you.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.